Dude, no way. My last opponent for the night for the skateboard. This guy right there.
Okay, Slim.
So this is terrifying. Biggest thing was getting over recording in front of all these people, and I think we got around that by sitting all the way in the corner of the store. We made it this far, and I think we're gonna do all right. Earth Machine is the best deck. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to get this series over with so we can play with all our real cards, and we're probably gonna lose anyway. But the best one of us is taking home a skateboard tonight. You're not gonna wanna miss any of this, boys. Check out all these duels, it's gonna be a great time. And before I forget, hit him with a BOIS. How are you feeling today?
Fucking shaky.
Shaky? I've heard that there's some pretty good players that come here.
Yeah, now I'm like even more nervous.
You're gonna be alright. You got the best deck.
I'm just ready to get smacked.
Excited to just get it over with?
Honestly,
And then play with a constructed deck?
Yeah, I get this done and then be able to use Chaos Space, that'd be cool.
How do you feel about the crowd? Like there's 20 plus people signed up.
I haven't looked behind me yet.
But we are at Cool Stuff in Davie, right?
I don't know if this is Daisy. I think it's Hollywood.
Let's just play some Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah, dude. Yugioh. Oh my gosh, got a bind.
Wow. Boys, we are finally here. Kyle and myself made it to our first local OTS tournament. All these cards you see before yourselves were collected with a bunch of time and money over the course of more than a year and a half. It took us a lot to get here, and we're super excited to put these cards to the test against the homies at locals. But before we do that, I want to give out one more shout out to the beat producers behind this series. This beat is one of my favorites. It was made by the homie Novo. Got a link down below to his channel. And one of my other homies, Slim, made most of the other beats in this series. You can check out the link to his channel in the description below as well. They're both killing it. The sounds of this series would not be the same without them. Now, I'm going to give you the full deck list in the description down below. Really just want you to check out these cool visuals, sit back and enjoy the beat, and we'll catch you in match 1. Alright boys, here we are, the moment you've been waiting an excruciatingly long amount of time for. Match 1, Game 1 of the series finale of sealed only sparring. I am definitely sweating bullets at this point in time, feeling super nervous, hands shaking, a little cold and clammy, a little moist. As you may know, my hands sweat a lot in intense duel situations. However, we are going to try our best playing up against our first opponent. And to be honest with you boys, taking notes on every single play-by-play like I've been trying to do for these duels is taking forever. So the first match for Kyle and myself, super detailed, list off all the cards, all the effects, and then from then on I'm going to speed it up a little bit for your guys' sake because this video is going to be long as heck if I don't do that. Anyways, we can't win the dice roll in the first game, so our opponent goes first. They normal summon Cyber Dragon Core, so we know that they're on the Sidra deck. and I respond with Effect Failure, which essentially ends their turn because they set 3 cards and pass. Then over on my turn, I start with Machina Redeployment, pitching Trencher to the graveyard, pretty good pitch there. Add Fortress and Citadel. From there on, I activate Heavy Forward and search Infinitrack Harvester, which I then normal summon and activate the effect to search a Brutal Dozer. I link into Goliath, and they flip Torrential and Summon Limit. So I have a bunch of monsters and Heavy Forward in my hand, so I end my turn. Our opponent starts their turn by banishing Core from grave and special summons Hurts from the deck. Then they attack for 100 damage and link into Linkuriboh. They search for a Cyber Dragon with Hurt's effect, set some back row, and pass it right back over to me. Then back on my turn, I pitch the Citadel for Fortress to get that big boy on the field and chain Derricrane. On the resolution of Derricrane coming out, they flip another Torrential Tribute, blowing up my board. Can't special summon the Citadel because I'm at my 2 summons for the turn off a summon limit. I activate Heavy Forward in my hand for main 2 and search Infinitrack Tunnler and pass it over to my opponent. From there on, they activate Cyber Emergency and search Cyber Dragon Core. They use Core to search Overflow. Then they discard Cyber Dragon to special summon Noxter. Can't really do anything after that. Summon Limit is really putting the time crunch on this game in terms of what we can do. So they pass it over to me. Back on my turn, I discard the Tunnler and Anchor Drill to special out Fortress again. Fortress gonna attack Core, and it goes through. Some good damage there. Then on the end phase, they flip Overflow. Spend a lot of time here. They probably realize that if they pop Fortress, they're gonna get out Citadel. So they banish 2 Cyber Dragons from the graveyard and pop the 2 Heavy Forwards, I think just to make use of the effect of the card that they flipped up. Then on my opponent's turn, they fuse away that Fortress easily. Tough to play a machine deck against Sidra. They activate Fusion Destiny, and thankfully I have the Ash. They attack directly for 2,000 damage. Then fan my graveyard like a beast. It's going super fast, so you probably won't see it. And activate Trencher, targeting Anchor Drill, which then I link into Goliath and activate Tunnler and Grave. I got my 5 monsters, trying to get a Pot of Avarice effect on my turn, shuffle back 5 and draw 2, but they respond with Solemn Strike, which ends my turn. Back on their turn, they attack over my Goliath, dealing 1,000 damage. Finally letting me bring out that Citadonk. Boys, time to shine. I know this guy is going to be tough for my opponent to out, especially with Summon Limit on the board. I special out Bullet Train and attack with Citadel for 1,000 big ones, putting my opponent at 3,400 life points to my 4,900 life points. So far so good, we're staying in the lead. Overlay for Super Dora and end my turn. Back on my opponent's turn, they banish Cyber Dragon Core from the grave once again, special out a Hurts. Then they tribute the Hurts for Linkuriboh and add back with Hurts effect. In their end phase, I will activate Super Dora, detaching Bullet Train to get Fortress back to hand. Then I use Machina Redeployment, pitching Fortress to search for Metalcruncher and Overdrive. I feel like that was a pretty good play on my part in terms of getting the advantage going. In the battle phase, I attempt to swing over Linkuriboh. Obviously, they activate the effect. Then I set 2 cards and pass. Back on their turn, they recycle that Linkuriboh, but my Machina Overdrive in their end phase allows me to get Metalcruncher and Citadel on the board. It's looking pretty good in my favor at this point. Going into my next turn, I go for Gustav Max, and on the effect, my opponent admits defeat after a very grindy game 1. Feeling pretty good about the way the night's gonna go. Taking my first game ever at an OTS Locals. Pretty sweet. Alright boys, we took game 1. We're feeling pretty good. Going into game 2 against Cyber Dragon, they decide to go first. I guess they're on a trap variant of the deck because a lot of Cyber Dragon players seem to go second. And this guy is lucky. He starts again with normal summon Cyber Dragon Core. I do have Artifact Lancia in my hand, which I slapped down just because I know Cyber Dragon does some banishing here and there, and I want to make sure that they're not able to get access to that engine. Was it a good play? I don't know, but I activated the Artifact Lancia. They go ahead and search Cyber Rev system with the Cyber Dragon Core. They link into Almirage and activate the Rev system, which then gets them another body on board, so they can get Anaconda out, pay 2k and special DPE. They set 2 and pass. Not really a crazy board, although DPE is kind of tough to out, especially with a sealed only deck. I activate Machina Redeployment on my turn, searching the classic duo of Citadel and Fortress. Then I go ahead and activate a Heavy Forward, but they respond with DPE, popping the Anaconda and the Heavy Forward so that I can't get the search off. Then we're going to continue on with our turn, pitching the Citadel to summon out the Fortress, then chain the Derricrane. On the summon of Derricrane, they activate Torrential. It's almost like I didn't learn from the last game, but I was so in my head I was going to play into it no matter what. They activate the DPE Grave effect when it hits the grave, and I activate the Citadel so I get that big boy out. Then I go in to attack for 3k in the battle phase, and they only have 3,000 life points remaining because of the deduct from Anaconda's effect. Pass it over to my opponent, and they bring that DPE back in the standby phase. They set a monster, then they contact Fuse Citadel away, which is a pretty tough thing. I didn't see that one coming, but I guess it makes sense since you can fuse off your own set monster. They deal 4,500 damage in the battle phase, get me pretty low, but not quite as low as they are. Then it's passed back to me, and I attempt to use Anchor Drill, but get Solemn Strike to put them down to 1,500 life points. I special out Citadel and go to the battle phase. On attack declaration, they activate DPE, forcing me to use the Citadel and wiping the board, but then they got DPE effect to come back next turn. That's when I'm starting to see the real potential of DPE coming back turn after turn, when you can't stop it. They start their turn with Dasher to special out Hurts and bring out DPE in the standby phase, normal summon that Cyber Dragon core, and easily put up enough damage to win the game. I feel like I was so close but so far from taking the match right there. Alright boys, we are going into game 3 of the first match of sealed only sparring. With how close those two first games were, I'm not sure if I can take it entirely, but I do have the power of going first, which is awesome. So I start with Machina Redeployment once again, that thing's glued to my hand, and I pitch Citadel to the graveyard, picking up an Overdrive and Metalcruncher. Using that Metalcruncher normal summon to get my play started, and I add Dozer to hand. Gonna activate the effect to special it out, and then special summon Trencher from the deck. We're able to go for that River Stormer play finally, the rank 5, and use the effect attaching Trencher to search out a Derricrane. Bullet Train to special out from hand, and Derricrane as well. We overlay for Gustav Max, trying to burn him for 2k, but we get hit with Nibiru before I can use the effect. I didn't even keep track of my summons. That was pretty crazy that I was able to get stopped like that. Metalcruncher 1, Brutal Dozer 2, Trencher 3, River Stormer 4. Yeah, we were well over 5 summons, so that stopped us right there. Trencher in the grave, target Dozer to special it. I want to have that out so that I have a machine to target for Machina Overdrive. Then I set the Overdrive and pass. On my opponent's turn, they activate Cyber Emergency to add core. They normal summon the core and chain Cyber Dragon Veer in hand. I chain Machina Overdrive and target the Dozer and special out Fortress from deck. After Machina Overdrive brings out Fortress, he tries to contact fuse the Fortress away. Just a little bit of a weird communication there because I want to chain Citadel to bring that out. He's not going to be able to get that contact fuse off because Machina Citadel is a quick effect. I chain it targeting itself to wipe the opponent's board. Then they activate another search card and add Galaxy Soldier to hand. Special summon Soldier, discarding hers. Then they add a Cyber Dragon and another Galaxy Soldier. Discard the Cyber Dragon to special out the Galaxy Soldier that they just added to hand. Then they go out for Cyber Dragon Nova, the rank 5 with the 2 soldiers. They use the Nova effect to bring out hers. So they go to the battle phase here with Cyber Dragon Infinity on board, but they're just not able to put battle damage up. Main 2, they go absorb hers to not have the attack position monster on their field. They go to the end phase with 2 back row. I got about a minute on the clock left when I start my turn, and I slap a big fat kaiju down on the Cyber Dragon Infinity. He activates Torrential Tribute on summon, then triggers hers to add back a Cyber Dragon core. Activates Citadel in the grave, and he yoinks it with Ice Dragon Prison, which is pretty nice because I could have ended the game right there. But I do have a normal summon in hand of Anchor Drill, and I special out the Harvester. Activate the Harvester to search out a Tunnler, and that's where the clock runs out. Turns out missing that Bullet Train on my first turn could have been the difference between a win and a loss. At least I could have added back Gustav Max to the extra deck. I'm not entirely sure I could have made it, but hey, we get a draw, learning the hard way how cruel time can be. I feel like I would have had that there, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go see how Kyle did in his first match.
Before we get started the first round, first of all, thank y'all for coming out. And just want to let y'all know we have 33 players in today's tournament.
It doesn't feel like that. 6 rounds.
All right, so our first game at an actual OTS locals. I'm pretty excited, but pretty nervous at the same time. But your boy won the dice roll, and I get to go first, so that's pretty hype. But it does seem like my hand was pretty weird because I started my turn by activating Dragon Ravine, pitching Gamma, and fucking Smooth Brain over here pitched the Gamma. If I had discarded anything besides Gamma, I could have at least responded with it and saved my play. But that left me with nothing else to play, so I have to just pass on that. My opponent is on Tenny Sword Soul, and they start their turn by discarding Tenny Spirit Ashuna to special out Sword Soul Longyao. I really don't know how to pronounce any of these cards, I'll be completely honest with you guys. But doing that, they were able to bring out a token and use it to synchro into Baron de Fleur and burn me for 1200 with the Longyao. Then they normal summon Incredible Ecclesia and activate the effect tributing itself to special out Sword Soul Moyi. Then use Moyi's effect to special out another token. And then use Adara's effect Engrave to bring out Vashuda. Then they synchro Moyi and the token into Xiao, and then use Moyi's effect Engrave to draw a card, and Xiao to search for Soul Blackout. Battle phase just ends that game. I really had nothing I could do there. So game 2, I decided to go second. I think that threw my opponent off a little bit. They were probably expecting me to go first, and they must have bricked on all their side cards because they immediately passed turn. So I start off my turn by normal summoning Black Metal Dragon and then activating Quick Launch to bring out a Rocket Chaser from the deck. I use those two boys to link into Halka Firebrax and do some chain blocking. I do Halka's Chainlink 1 and Black Metal's Chainlink 2. So I get to search for Red MD and then special out Rocket Synchron. Immediately, I link the Rocket Synchron into a Striker Dragon and use the effect to search for Boot Sector Launch. And then I banish that Striker Dragon to bring out the Red MD from hand, use Red MD's effect to bring back Tracer from the grave. Then I activate the Tracer to pop the Boot Sector Launch and bring out a Recharger. And then the opponent is saying, nah homie, here's a big ol' Nibiru. Yeah, the big ol' Nibiru token, pass. On their turn, they normal summon Ghost Ogre, and they link that and the Nibiru into a Halka Firebrax. I respond to Halk's effect with effect failure, which makes them pass their turn. Pretty quick turns going on right now. Back to me, I normal summon Black Metal and go into battle phase and attack over Halk with the token that they gave me. I set a card and pass. They then start their turn with Vessel for the Dragon Cycle that allows them to dump Tenny's Spirit of Ashuda to the grave. Then they activate Sword Soul Emergence to search for Sword Soul Teia, and they normal summon the Teia and then activate the effect banishing the Sword Soul Emergence in their graveyard, which I effect failure. In battle phase, they attack over Black Metal, but then they decide to scoop because of the huge token on my side of the field. Gotta love it when they give you the win con, huh? Going into game 3, your boy's a little smooth brain, as y'all know, and I'm so used to losing that I tell my opponent that I'm gonna go second, not realizing that I just won the game. But luckily they decided that they want to go first anyways. And my opening hand consists of 2 Gamma, Dark Magician, Noctivision, and Levy. They start their turn with Ecclesia, but I Gamma it. And they follow up with Sword Soul Emergence searching Moyi. They discard the Moyi to special summon Longyaon and a token. Then they activate Vessel of the Dragon Cycle, dumping Ashuna and adding Shitana. Man, these names are something else. They use those to synchro into Cheeksing Longyaon, and then they set 1 pass. So on my turn, I take a read of that synchro monster with the ridiculous amount of text before I just normal summon Rocket Chaser. And I link 1 into Striker Dragon effect, and I forgot that I could have chained Noctivision in hand. You know, just classic for goring. Fortunately, Striker gets banished, and I get burned for 1200. I'm out of plays at this point, so I scoop, giving my opponent the win for my first game. Alright, we're recording, bud. What do you want me to say? No, I got fucking smacked.
Who did you play against?
Tenny Sword Soul. I missed the guy's name, I don't fucking know. He killed me. Yeah, I wrote, apparently you're not supposed to bring him to slip if you lose.
The things you learned the first time.
There's
Parent.
I played against Cyber Dragon and I got a draw, so that was pretty hype. Round 2 has been posted by. Alright boys, we are going into round 2, coming off a draw. Don't feel great about it, don't feel terrible, but let's see if we can do any better. Like I said, I'm going to narrate this one in much less detail than that first game, because that was taking forever. Just in case you want to see all the detail and all the plays and stuff, I am going to upload a rough cut of this video. It's going to be like a 4-hour long video, basically just showing exactly how the duels went, live audio, all that. So stay tuned if that's something that you might be interested in. But for now, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what went down in my second round against 60 card pile Phantom Knights. This was in April, by the way, so that deck pretty much was all over the place, and of course I was going to go up against it at some point. Thankfully, I do win the dice roll, and I'm able to go through the standard Riverstormer combo, get Fortress on the board, Citadel and Grave, set up for Super Dora, but even with a board that's that crazy, you can't always beat Nibiru with Imperm in hand. So even though I chain my Super Door to try to protect something like that on board, I lose pretty much everything and just end on a token. Really was disappointed with that because I felt like I really comboed off hard there. But hey, it is what it is. They start off with Fusion Destiny on their turn, clearing the token and do big damage, ending on DPE, Nib, and a back row. They pass it back to me and I really can't do anything there, so I just scoop. Much less eventful game 1 than the last one. Alright, here we are at game 2 going first. I really wish I could tell you guys that it went any better than it did, but honestly we put up a pretty lackluster board, open with Fortress and 2 back row. And then, funny as it would be, they start their turn off with Harpy's Feather Duster, forcing me to use my Solemn Judgment, one of my 2 back row right there. Since I had already taken 4k damage from the Solemn Judgment, it was really easy for them to put up the rest through that Fortress, and they take the game. Got quick 2-0'd against 60 card pile Phantom Knights. It was a good game though, the guy was cool, and I definitely learned how easily you can lose when you don't put up a good turn 1 board. On to the next one, our boy Kyle unfortunately had a bye this round, so we're going to have to hang out with the boys again in round 3. But here we are at Taco Bell, the motherland. We're waiting a really long time.
Yeah, dude.
Like more than 3 minutes for Taco Bell.
It's kind of insane.
So the guy that you played second was Tenyi Sword Soul, and you didn't know what anything did?
No, the guy played first. I only played 1 round.
Fuck.
But yeah, I didn't.
Kyle's
know.
got 2 points.
Bye. What's up?
Oh, well, we got this tournament pack. Let's see if we can get an ulti out of it. That'd be crazy out of 1 pack. Zector card. I don't even know what that does. Pika Felina. I guess it's alright. We got some pretty sussy cards. Oh well. Never lucky. Alright, Kyle. Show him your ulti real quick.
My ulti real quick. My ulti dog shit. No, it's not.
Token Collector. That's a real card though.
Yeah.
I got a shitty Insector card.
Sick.
Sick. Going into round 3, Earth Machines are 1 draw and 1 loss, but we have 6 rounds tonight, so even though things are looking bleak, hey, you never know, it might go better. Or you might play against Tenyi Sword Soul while it's at the peak of its power. Game 1, I go first and I pull off the standard River Stormer combo. I end with River Stormer in defense with 2 back row and a Bullet Train to add back Harvester in hand. But they're able to clear through that board pretty easily using the Tenyi Sword Soul engine. They have the Hulk combo, they shuffle stuff back with Yazi, and they're able to OTK very easily. It was like I didn't put up anything at all. Kind of crazy. So game 1 was a little bit rough. They were able to play through our stuff with ease. But hey, we get to go first again, which is good. I set up a River Stormer combo, and I get to resolve Tunnler in that turn. So I get to draw 2, Pot of Avarice action. Feels really good to resolve that card. And instead of ending with 2 back row, I end with a Goliath and 3 back row. So I'd like to see him play through that. They do start with Small World, which is pretty cool because I hadn't seen anybody actually use that card before at this point. Apparently they can search the adventure package using it. They set up a negate super early on, and they can combo off playing through the Citadel I brought out with Machina Overdrive, clearing my board once again and getting the OTK. Would have been nice to have a negate for the Small World, like an Ash or something in hand, but I just don't. Guy was obviously really good because he has the regional mat and box. He also has a Star Wars shirt on, which means that he's a huge alpha male, so I really can't complain taking the loss. That was cool. So definitely learned something. This deck was at the peak of popularity when I played against it in April, so that was a good match. Moving on to the next one.
Going into round 3 of our first OTS locals, I'm not really sure what to expect, but I'm apparently playing against Adventure DPE Prank Kids. And that sounds like a whole lot of scary. But I won the dice roll and I choose to go second. My opponent banishes Enchantress from hand, and I hit that with Ash because I know that's going to be no good for me. But then they normal summon Fansies and proceed to do Prank Kids combos, ending on a Link 2 with a set card, and is able to draw a card in the end phase. I start comboing off and they activate Prank Kids Pandemonium to bring out Battle Butler, and that just wipes my board. Can't really do anything on that. Can't even pull off the Tracer effect because they have Valor. From there, I really can't come back and I take the game loss. For game 2, I decided to switch my strategy a little bit. Instead of going second, I actually try and go first this time. Get my Hulk on board, and that gets stopped with a Valor, which messes up my combo quite a bit. I was able to use TTT, draw some cards, and I decided to pass my turn there. Probably should have done something different with that. But my opponent was able to combo their Prank Kids to build a board with DPE, Griffin Rider. Too much stuff. I tried to out it, but was hit with the Nibiru after playing through the Griffin and DPE, and wasn't able to continue from there. So my opponent takes game 2, and round 3 is a big ol' L for your boy.
We're here recording live at Locals, where I have taken a draw and lost twice in a row really fast. Other people have really good cards, and ours aren't that good. Stay tuned.
Alright, so post game. This was game 3, but my second game playing. Opponent was playing Prank Kids, but also the DPE. He just put up like a majillion monsters, and the one time I actually had something going for me, he Nibiru'd me. So that was fun. Nibiru sucks. Dude, real cards. It's crazy. It's been fun though. I mean, I guess I've been kind of lucky. That guy I've known previously from skateboarding, so that was cool. He was nice. He explained all the cards, unlike my first guy, but I can't really expect everyone to do that. People have been really nice so far.
I'm gonna give you a little more detailed breakdown after round 3. So the first round, I played against Cyber Dragon. I was able to take game 1. We had a very grindy match with summon limit. Game 2, I want to say I lost pretty bad, and then game 3 went into time, and if I had moved faster and got a guy up, I might have been able to take it in the battle phase. Just didn't happen, so we got the draw round 1. Round 2, we played against Phantom Knights Burning Abyss. And it wasn't even close. And then game 3, we played against Tenyi Sword Soul, and it wasn't even close. Having fun. This is a really cool shop, and I don't feel as weird about recording this in public as I thought I would. And there's other people doing it too. Cool stuff, Davie, Florida.
Hollywood.
Cool stuff, Hollywood, Florida. Dude, South Florida, if you're not in Miami, then where the fuck you at? Okay. Going into round 4 against Eldritch, which I had a little bit of experience playing against this deck because of Master Duel, so I'm feeling somewhat confident. They do win the dice roll though, which is not very good for me, and they choose to go first, starting off with Pot of Extravagance, getting draw 2 right away, and then they reveal Heavenly Sky Prison, which I had never seen before at that point. That was pretty cool to see, but it does protect all the back row that they set. I think they end on a bunch of Eldritch traps and other back row. So hey, going second against this deck might be kind of tough. Start off with a Metalcruncher normal summon, and they flip up Torrential right away. Unfortunately, my deck really struggles if the normal summon monster gets removed, so I pretty much just have to end my turn there. You know, he's not able to OTK me right there. We have a little bit of back and forth, but I just can't gain enough momentum after not being able to combo off on my first turn. I can't play through all his interruptions, and the Eldritch Advantage engine eventually makes me take the game loss. That guy Rennie is the homie though. We've played together a few times since this was recorded. I've gone back to locals because it's been really fun, so little spoiler alert there, but this guy is super cool and really good at Yu-Gi-Oh! I will link his channel in the description down below if I remember, because he's pretty good at this game, and maybe check out his deck profiles. Alright boys, so this game too is pretty funny. I go first and I set up River Stormer with a back row. Hey, you know, at least I comboed off. I got through the River Stormer. But you start to realize the flaws in your deck when you don't have any quick effects and your opponent can play through your turn 1 board with a token. I mean, it's just about as funny as it gets. So they are on the adventure package, and then they pretty much just end the game with there can be only one after that, and I can't do much about it. I don't draw into the Cosmic Cyclone that I sided in, and I take the game loss there. But again, this guy was really cool to play against. Can't say enough kind things about him. So we're going in with a draw and 3 losses. But hey, there's 2 rounds left. Anything could happen.
Going into round 4, I'm not feeling very confident, since right now my only win I have is my bye. This round, we're going against Adventure Phantom Knights. They're able to get into Cherubini and access the Adventure Engine at the very beginning of their turn, setting up a negate. I try to Gamma when they activate Bardiche, and they just use their Griffin Rider negate there. And then from there, they decide to go into Anaconda, set up a DPE, and I had a second Gamma to stop it. I think I actually realized during this game that Gamma is not once per turn. I'm sitting there scanning the card with my thumb, so guys, make sure you read your cards. But they end their turn with a Bardiche and 3 back row. I start off my turn with Black Dragon and do a little bit of comboing, playing through the back row. They use Fogblade to stop my Romulus search, and then another one to stop the Striker Dragon search. But I'm able to put up an Axis Kotaker along with a White Dragon on the board. I use Axis Kotaker's effect to pop his lost back row, which he illegally chains to protect the Bardiche from being destroyed by card effect. Again, what did I say? You gotta read your cards. I forget that you can't respond to Axis Kotaker's effects. Then I decide to go to battle phase, do a little bit of damage. I guess big damage. Whatever. They bring Bardiche back out on their turn and normal summon Celestial, and then use Forbidden Droplet in the battle phase to attack over my monster, clearing my Axis Kotaker, which then they steal in main 2 with Dark, the Dark Charmer. I summon Scarlight on my turn, which ends the long game 1 right there. Gotta love that burn damage. So game 2 of this round looks very similar to game 1, with me going second and me having 2 Gammas in hand. But unlike the first game, they activate Fusion Destiny from hand, so I can't stop it from coming out. He interrupts me early on in my combo, stopping me dead in my tracks because I don't have any extenders besides Noctivision Dragon. Thankfully, I survive a turn, but I can't play through DPE and a Griffin Rider, so I take a loss. Starting off game 3, use Dark Ruler No More and Red Reboot, and it feels really good because I know I won't have to worry about their monster effects or trap effects on my turn. That is if they didn't go for Scythe. But they actually sided it out. So it all worked out in the end because they paid life for Anaconda, and then I get to take that match, so you gotta win. Let's go.
Is that the 2 match wins, Kyle Anderson, back to back to back? Oh my god. Kyle, did you just win your last match? You don't look very happy about it.
Stress on fucking time, bro.
So this is after round 4. I played against an Eldritch player. The only thing I could have done was draw into Cosmic Cyclone with the Tunnler that I forgot I had in the graveyard. He had there can be only 1 up, so there really wasn't a whole lot I could do. His token put in some work, and I lost that one. Kyle won, though, burning that boy for a lot of damage and taking 6 points. He has 2 match wins right now. I'm about to get 3 more points because I got to buy this round. This is round 5. We just got out of round 4. So if I can win the last round, I might be able to take the dub because I have 1 more point than Kyle. I think I will have 4 points at the end of this. Look at Kyle going into game 5 with 6 points. That dude is going to take that skateboard, no cap.
Going into round 5, I do feel a little good, you know, just taking a dub. I'm playing against a very blinged out Scrap Dinosaur deck. They put up Lost World and a DPE with Baby on board. They use DPE to pop my field spell, which allows them to summon an Oviraptor and get Misk to the hand. I use talents to take their DPE and go for Dark Dragoon, but unfortunately they have a Kaiju for it, and they combo off, taking game from there. For game 2, I decided to stick with my strategy once again of going second, but they put up a full-fledged Dino board with Scythe and DPE. There's no shot I'm clearing that with Red Ice Fusion and Dark Magician at my hand, so GG's. So that was rough. I got smacked, but I did a TTT and took control of a DPE, which was cool. Made Anaconda, and then I made Dragoon. He wasn't expecting that, so that was tight. But it wasn't enough. I think I got him down to 3,000 something life points, but you know, life points don't matter until the last one, right?
Dude, no way. My last opponent for the night. For the skateboard. This guy right there. Boys, as luck would have it, we made it to the finals. Just kidding, both of our last opponents didn't show up. And we're going to duel each other for the skateboard in the sealed only finale. You ready, my guy?
I'm ready. It's just like good old times.
That's right, except there's like 40 other people surrounding us. We're going into game 1, starting with a big dice roll for me. Gonna go first in the last match of the series. Gonna bring out that boy I got in the Megatin, Machina Metalcruncher. Gets hit with Ash immediately. That has been glued to your hand for so long now.
I'm gonna Ash that.
Yeah, I'm gonna Ash that. Shout out Lewis. Luckily, I can follow up with a heavy forward, picking up Dozer.
Dozer.
Go for the River Stormer effect after I set that up, sending a Citadel to grave, set a card and pass.
Man, you be always playing with that Citadel. I'm going to start off my turn with a quick launch, getting access to Tracer, instantly linking off into Striker, getting Boot Sector launch. Then I use World Legacy Guard Dragon to bring out Tracer back from the grave, use Tracer's effect to pop it and get Recharger. From there, I go into Pepega, RIP my boy. So I get the mills and I mill chamber and I add that to hand.
Just to avoid the comment, obviously we went to locals in April of 2022. So yes, it's banned. No, it wasn't banned.
It was a while ago, but you know, production takes some time. On top of the mills, you know, I also mill Red Ice Fusion, so that's a big old sad face for me. So I normal summon the chamber, and then I banish Striker Dragon for Red MD, bring out Tracer back from the grave once again. Link Tracer and Chamber into Quad Boral, and then use the effect by pitching Tiding to bring out Tracer and Recharger. And then I go for Savage, which D hits with Imperm.
Hey, gotta stop that negate.
From there, I link off my entire board into Access Code. So from there, I attack over River Stormer, which brings out Citadel.
Yeah, that's right. That guy comes back and he keeps coming back. I start my turn with another heavy forward and I pick up an Anchor Drill. I feel like those heavy forwards have been stuck to my hand like those ashes have been stuck to yours. Anchor Drill effect gets hit with Effect Failure. I still can link one into Goliath and get that River Stormer effect off in the graveyard. Tribute the Goliath to special it out, and then use the Goliath effect to attach back to the River Stormer. Use the effect of River Stormer to pick up a Bullet Train. This deck does a whole lot of things for a whole lot of nothing. Thankfully, at that point, I can overlay for Gustav Max, try to use it, but Kyle uses the Imperm before I can even detach. Then I go for Lieb, activate the effect to get it 6,000 attack, and then I can attack over Access Code Talker for 700 damage. Then I overlay for Zeus in main 2. Pass it back to our boy.
Man, Zeus be out here. So I started off with Boot to bring out Tracer and Recharger from the grave, and then use Tracer to pop Boot to special out a Synchron from the deck, get those 3 boys on board. But then, of course, Zeus effect wipes the entire board.
I totally forgot to send the heavy forwards to the grave, my B.
And then after that, I just normal summon Black Metal and pass my turn.
That's a classic Kyle move. Don't want to leave the board empty, right? Better than T-set, right? A bold attack position.
Hey man, he's small. He can't do nothing, but he's gonna stand his ground.
That's right. So from there, I go Trencher effect to bring out Anchor Drill. Special summon Dozer from hand, overlay for that rank 9. Then I tribute Goliath for River Stormer to get a search and swing for big damage, leaving Kyle with 200 life points. Draws for turn, but he can't play, giving me the first game of the last match of the last episode of Sealed Only Sparring. I think that all of those were correct technically, but I was just spewing words out. Go to game 2.
Game 2, let's go!
Feeling pretty good after that first game, using those new cards to take a dub, but who knows what could happen. Our boy Kyle has been practicing quite a bit. Gonna go first in game 2. Kyle's sticking with the strategy of going second all night, and it seems to be working pretty well for him. I start with the classic opener of Machina Redeployment, pitching Citadel to pick up Metalcruncher and Overdrive. Then I use the Metalcruncher effect to pick up a Dozer. Use the Dozer effect, setting up the River Stormer play, but I get hit with Valor before I can detach, so all I can really do is set 1 and pass there, leaving myself with 1 Machine Boy to target with that Machina Overdrive. Everything rides on this play.
For my turn, I Kaiju over the River Stormer.
You bitch!
shutting off the Machina Overdrive since you won't have a machine to target with Overdrive and turning Citadel offline.
R.I.P.
Then I started off with Sea Farts because, you know, Sea Farts my boy, and go into Black Dragon, which links into Striker Dragon, searching for boot, but I forgot to search for White Dragon, you know, big classic Kyle plays. But at least I could still combo off with Hell. Again, you know, recording. Boy's not banned during this time. Feels good.
Yeah, he's too strong. I can't believe you had Hulk and Vert and Dragoon and Savage. You had a crack deck.
And like 4 copies of LP, man. But yeah, so with Hulk, I'm able to get to Savage and Dragoon, taking up the dub.
Man, that burn damage hurts, right?
Hell yeah.
Burning over that kaiju for maximum pain. Oh, man, if you guys couldn't tell, things are about to get intense in Game 3, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss that. 1-1 right now. Game 3, playing for the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon skateboard that's been on the line since February of 2021. It's been hanging on my wall. It's getting intense. Kyle is eyeing that guy up, and he knows that it's within his grasp at this point. It all comes down to this. The side decking was super intense too. Not a word was spoken. We took a super long time, probably like 2 or 3 minutes to do it. And here we are going into the game that you guys have been waiting forever for. Game 3 of sealed only sparring finale. I'm going to go first. So I start off with a heavy forward and search Harvester, which I then normal summon to search Anchor Drill. Link off that Harvester for Goliath. Then I go Dozer effect in hand, tributing the Goliath. And I set up the River Stormer play, and I can get Tunnler and Trencher and Grave, searching a Bullet Train to hand, and then I special out the Bullet Train. Go Trencher effect, putting 5 back into the deck and drawing 2. Everybody likes a nice pot of Avarice. Really hurts not having any of the Machine Link 2s right now because I basically have to pass right there after setting 2 back row. Would have been really nice to have the Anger Knuckle here to be able to recycle that Bullet Train, but it is what it is. Passing to our boy Kyle.
I started off normaling Tracer and special abs from hand. Then I used those to link 2 into Hulk, which allows me to set up 2 chain links. D responds with Machina Overdrive, targeting Goliath and specialing out Citadel, which Citadel's got to make that appearance for the last match of the game. Been facing this guy down the entire series, and I can't say that I'm happy to see him one last time. But I feel confident I could play around his effect this time.
Kyle Confident Anderson.
That shit don't go together. So I linked 2 into Anaconda, forcing D to use Citadel, popping the Bullet Train and the Vert. Then I use Boot Sector to bring out Tracer, and time runs out here. My last chance to put up damage, so I go straight into the MVP of the night, Scarlight. That boy lets me win with some burn damage, and that feels pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
GG's, man. That was a good match. Feel great to have a bit of back and forth on the last match of the series.
Hell yeah. I mean, I told you guys from like episode 5 that shit was going on my wall.
Yeah, the first time you won. The first time you won a match. Let's go.
I finally beat you. Dude, wait, so I won the...
You won.
I feel kind of like...
That's
Weird. You're a dumbass. You won.
Let's go.
If I drew...
I got a fucking skateboard. Awesome.
If I won that game, I would have won the skateboard, but you won the skateboard. Spoiler alert, I was going to give it to you regardless, but you earned it. You earned it, though.
Dude. That's fucking... Calm, dude.
Fucking earned that shit. Give your victory speech, dude. Kyle just won.
So we both had our last people just fucking not show up. So me and D played each other instead. And yeah, I took it.
You fucking took it, bro.
I took it, bro. And then that Scarlet, he did work today. So I'm pretty pumped on that. That's the only reason why I won at the end there. Dude, like, yeah, Simp Army, stand up. What's up? I guess all we can say is we got him.
Our boy Kyle Anderson making me proud out here, putting me in my place, taking the series after an entire year. This guy got him, and I'm proud of him. We're going to be giving him that Toon Dragon skateboard in the parking lot. We're definitely getting kicked out of here, so we got to get out. But
did it for the tat, you know? Got that. But you got this, bro.
And all you boys got this, and all you bros got this. And hang out with us some more. We're going to be dropping some more videos. We'll catch you next time. Got him.
Got him.
He ain't saying bye. Bye.
Oh. Bye.
Yeah. We are the champions. Yo, Kyle Anderson just took his fucking dub, bro. Rip it out. Woo. Damn.
Wait, should I?
No.
Dude, yeah, I was like, where's the light?
Dude, good job.
Thank you.
You earned it.
I feel like today, yeah, for sure.
You played well, you took real dubs, you won some real matches, and you even beat me.
It was a good time.